Hey there, everybody. So, a couple of years ago, I made this video entitled Obama is a Conservative, which made people's heads explode because we're not really used to hearing that. Um, but I really uh, think it's almost impossible now to dispute that he isn't. And I'll say why. Um, First off, let's go to the possible ways people might say, well, of course he's not a conservative. He passed health care reform. The health care reform he passed was actually the old Republican plan. That was the alternative to the Clintons in the early 90s. It was Nixon's plan originally. The right-wing group, the Heritage Foundation, came up with it. It didn't include a public option. George W. Bush's Medicare reform plan included a public option. So it's more conservative in some respects than the Medicare reform pushed by Bush. So that's point number one. Point number two, what president passed the biggest tax cuts in history? Who was that? That was Obama. He made the Bush tax cuts permanent, which George Bush couldn't even do. They had to pass it through something called budget reconciliation because he thought it would be impossible. Uh, we have the Bush tax cuts permanently thanks to Obama, and he expanded them. And another way he's cut taxes has been through the payroll tax cut. The payroll tax cut is what funds Social Security. So what Obama's doing by passing a payroll tax cut is making sure that Social Security is not adequately funded, which last time I checked was a big Democratic priority. If you look at gun control, there's nothing that's been done on gun control. You can blame that on Congress, I suppose. But what really gets me is the budget stuff. The budget stuff proves to me beyond any reasonable doubt that this guy is fundamentally a conservative. The biggest cuts in the federal budget have occurred under Obama, not a Republican president. They've occurred under Obama. And you want to know where he's cut? He has cut from food stamps. The highest percentage cut in food stamps has been signed into law by a Democratic president. It's just amazing. Every issue you can think of, Obama is pretty much a conservative. On Afghanistan, he says we're withdrawing in 2014. We're going to have residual troops there until 2024. In Iraq, a lot of people don't know this. The Bush administration had negotiated getting out of Iraq, I think it was like 2010 or 2011. And Obama was so conservative, he tried to get us to stay there longer. The reason we're out of Iraq was because the Iraqi government kicked us out against Obama's wishes. He wanted us to have a larger residual force there. So, another conservative policy that Democrats swallow because it's Obama. That's the only reason. If you look at what he did in Afghanistan, the troop surge was literally what John McCain and the Republicans did in Iraq. He just took their same exact strategy and applied it to Afghanistan. Obama's appointed 14 members of the Republican Party to his cabinet and to roles like the Federal Reserve governors. That's more than any president in history. But the biggest thing is his foreign policy, the civil liberty aspect of his foreign policy, I believe is probably worse than Bush's. Drone strikes have soared under Obama. We've gotten into more countries under Obama with drones. Yemen. We've gone to a lot of Central African countries that you never hear on the news, like Sudan, with drones. Drones everywhere. So Obama's actually more conservative on that. Well, how about his cap and trade plan? That's liberal, right? Even though it didn't pass. Well, that was the Republican plan from the early 90s. I will give Obama credit on his plan to cap carbon emissions. That's an actual liberal idea. He's liberal on that, and he's liberal on LGBT rights issues. I will give him that. I think he's been excellent on those issues. But yeah, the NSA, the NSA, the wholesale spying on everybody, not only in America but on Earth, that we possibly can, and to have a Democratic president justify that is insane. It's insane to me. This is the whole reason I despised Bush, was he just shredded all the civil liberties we had. And Obama seems not he seems not only want to follow in his footsteps, he wants to do it even worse. It gets even worse when you go to the internet. Like the internet, I'm a big proponent of internet freedom, and everything Obama's done with the internet has been awful. Awful, awful, awful. Closing Mega Upload. What the hell? And prosecuting the guy who wasn't, I don't even think he was in the country. They had him extradited. Prosecuting Aaron Schwartz, the guy who founded Reddit, who was trying to share public information from MIT. They were prosecuting him, and he killed himself. The guy killed himself. They were so aggressive. Closing the Nutella network, which is a legitimate peer-to-peer sharing network, just because they could. Same with Pirate Bay. Trying to pass SOPA and its evil stepchild Pippa, which I don't even need to go into that. That's basically the wholesale destruction of the internet and complete censorship. I'm trying to think of what else. There's so much conservative about Obama. Having the most deportations of any president in history. Militarizing the border more than any president in U.S. history. Obama's not a liberal guy. And the sad part is, in many ways, Clinton is even more conservative than he is. It's just nuts. And then putting somebody on the board of the FCC who's like screw net neutrality. I thought I voted for a Democratic president. I guess I was wrong. I should put that the wrong way. I thought I voted for a liberal president. I guess I was wrong. And I'm not saying the Republicans are any better. They're a million times worse in almost every conceivable way. But we just fundamentally don't have a party that represents liberals anymore. The Democratic Party is not that party anymore. Obama's just been incredibly conservative. Anyway, I could rant about this all day. I could probably think of 10 other ways Obama's proven himself to be a conservative. But anyway, I'm out.